Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we'll return with round 14 of season 3 of our F1 24 My Team career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Dutch Grand Prix at the Circuit Zandvoort. Of course, if you missed out on the last video that went live a few days ago from Belgium, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We had our first truly bad race of the campaign. Just nothing seemed to go our way as the weekend went on, and then I made a bit of an error as well. There unfortunately got involved in an accident with Dennis Hauger. But we do have some big news as we head into this weekend. Nico Hulkenberg looks set to retire from Formula 1 come the end of the year, so we might see a bit of movement in the driver roster before this season is done and dusted as well. Taking a look at the vehicle performance, we have got a few upgrades in the works. VCarb, though, currently your best team on the grid. Obviously, after Daniel Ricciardo narrowly missed out on the win last weekend against George Russell. Of course, if this season's anything to go by so far, it does mean that Russell is going to win this Grand Prix as well. So yeah, at least, you know, George, I'm sure, is happy about that one. Will we ever see this trend broken between now and the end of the season? Only time will tell. Of course, if you're new around here as well and you aren't already, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed for more Formula 1 content. I want to try and get as close to 6,000 subs here as we can before the end of 2024. But anyway, let's head out then onto the circuit. I'm looking forward to this one.
With partisan support that we rarely see anywhere else on the calendar, there is an incredible atmosphere at Zandvoort. We're setting the grid for the Dutch Grand Prix in qualifying.
Well, I'd like to tell myself that the Orange Army, of course, is here to support our Orange team this weekend, but yeah, of course, all eyes will be on Max Verstappen here, still yet to win a race so far this season. He'll be looking to try and get a big result this afternoon, but what can we do as we head into qualifying? Of course, we had an absolute disaster in Belgium. Do not want a repeat of that here this weekend. Of course, we've had the summer break now to decompress, de-stress, and obviously get ourselves ready for the second half of the campaign. Well, hopefully we will wrap up this world title. I mean, we've got over a 100-point lead over Alonso still. So I'm just hoping, yeah, with a few rounds to go, we can obviously wrap it up and then really just enjoy ourselves in the last few Grand Prix. I mean, the fact that that corner is completely flat in 7th gear, I'm pretty happy with the car. And we're making our way then through that final turn. Come on, we've just used a little bit too much battery, actually, around the rest of the lap, so we might struggle on the run to the line. Only P12, but at least we've got a lap on the board. Well, it is one of, if not the shortest track on the calendar, excluding Monaco, but we are still half a second away from Verstappen after the first run, who's currently in a provisional pole position. So can we try and get a big result here? Can we just try and find a bit more time in the car? I'm going to save a bit of extra battery down in towards turn 1. But I know if we just get a nice tidy lap time, then hopefully the pace will come to us here through turn 2 and turn 3. Just trying to keep it a little bit more composed. Always got to try and run a little bit deep there through turn 4. Just let the camber work with you there to carry the speed off of the turn. Up the hill, you just see losing a little bit more again on our Delta, but completely flat out through that corner there. A little bit wide over the curbing, and just a nudge of the brake through the next one there. We made a little bit of an error last time round through that turn, as Alonso now sets a 107.6. So that is a big improvement by the Spaniard. Clearly the grip is still continuing to rise towards the end of qualifying here. Perez only down at about P13 right now, just ahead of myself. I don't think Verstappen, though, has improved. Tsunoda goes to the top of the board out of nowhere. So VCarb are definitely back now inside this series. A little bit wide through that penultimate corner there. Completely flat out now, though, up towards the line. We are going to find a little bit more time, but it's not going to be a huge amount. We end up P12. We haven't qualified inside the top 10. I know, obviously, we ended up 10th at Hungary in 3 GPs. Well, there we go. Yuki Tsunoda back where he wants to be in this sport. Pole position for VCarb here ahead of Alonso and Charles Leclerc. Zhou Guanyu less than a 10th away, but will line up in P4. And I think our streak is finally going to be ended this season. George Russell only down in P13 in the end, so he will not be happy with that result. 19 cars covered by less than a second. We are in for a dramatic Grand Prix.
We're on the coast of the North Sea at Zandvoort Circuit, 25 miles outside of Amsterdam. We're all set for the Dutch Grand Prix, a race that the greats have won at, including Jim Clark, who took the biggest trophy home here on 4 occasions. 2.6 miles then make up a lap here at a wet Zandvoort circuit, where some tricky braking zones and sudden drops can make it all too easy to slide off into the gravel. 14 corners overall, and a 678-metre main straight will provide the best chance for overtaking. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Yuki Tsunoda lines up on pole position, and it's Fernando Alonso alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Zhou, Hamilton, Sainz, Verstappen, Norris, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Ricciardo, Mr. Monaco, Russell, Albon, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Ocon, Bottas, Sargent, Hauger, and Teo Pourchaire. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Well, intermediates then bolted onto everybody's wagon this afternoon, but it should dry up before the end of the GP, and that is going to make tyre strategy very, very interesting here. Do we just try and save the first set and get to that dry period, or do we just, focus on making sure that we're as quick as we can for as long as we can in this GP? Only time will tell. But I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully it'll open up some opportunities today for different drivers to really try and, get a good result out of it. Obviously, the real-life 2023 Grand Prix here, at least the first few laps, were absolutely ridiculous as well. Let's get ready, though, on the grid for the Dutch Grand Prix. It is 5 red lights, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go there. Daniel Ricciardo alongside me, not getting off to a particularly good start, neither does Lando Norris on the inside, ready for turn 1. He's going to muscle his way back through, though, and we're going to try and follow him there, side by side with our teammate, and Oscar Piastri through turn 1. Of course, had a couple of good battles with them at the Hungaroring a couple of races ago. Basically, I think we're just going to try and forget that the Belgian Grand Prix ever happened in this season, but trying to put the power down as we make our way back up the hill then in towards Sector 2. I believe, actually, yeah, Alonso has taken the lead away from Yuki Tsunoda, so could Alonso get his 3rd race victory of the year on the board this weekend? Only time will tell. So many drivers, obviously, with 2 wins. We've had 4 to our name, so pretty happy with that as the season has gone on there. But we need to try and return to winning ways as soon as possible. Fun fact, Charles Leclerc has scored points in every single race this season. He really has been so underrated, just always getting a good result in that Ferrari car. As round the outside of our teammate will go. So yeah, Leclerc has easily been the Mr. Consistency so far, and long may it continue. But the team have given us no ATA on when this rain is meant to end, so it is definitely going to be sticking around for quite a while this afternoon. Looking at the tyre wear, though, I reckon if we had to, we could stretch this set to the end of the GP. It's just so important that you don't overheat the intermediates, because they can be so difficult to try and cool down once again. We're just watching Verstappen and Norris as they try and push each other along. There you go. So the rain, yeah, is definitely going to be here for the long haul. So I think already, unless something crazy happens, we're just going to try and make our way to the dry period on this one set. But just because we're going to try the alternate strategy then in this GP doesn't mean we can't try and at least go for overtakes. First up then is the local hero, and we're going to relegate him down into 9th place then, as we also go and claim new fastest lap as well. Obviously Alonso leading this one. He'd need a bit of a miracle and a lot of things to go his way by the end of the year, but he could still potentially get himself back in the hunt. All it takes is a couple of mechanical failures for us and a few other good results for Fernando, and 100 points can very quickly evaporate. Well, various cars are definitely getting rid of more and more of the standing water at the moment, but still, it is very difficult to really try and line up moves. I think the problem, of course, is there are quite a few traction zones on this lap, but not many of them really lead into big overtaking opportunities. Of course, there's all these rumours that Zandvoort is either going to get dropped or set on a every other year kind of arrangement with Spa. If it was my choice, I'd rather just have Spa and we never have Zandvoort again, to be completely honest. Just the Belgian Grand Prix, I think, is far more iconic and well worth having. As everybody just chopping and changing. Oh, those fastest laps there as Sainz has a bit of a wobble. Well, Lando, Max and myself will all make it through. But we almost lost our wing in the process. Oh, there we go. Sainz again trying to fight back against the Dutchman though. So, yeah, Sainz, he won't just lose 3 places. They'll only lose 2. If you really try and use a load of the battery pack back in towards turn 1, that was an aggressive move. But confident with it on the brakes there on Lando Norris. It's exactly what we've got to be doing. That's pretty much the only thing you can do. Turn 1 really is the only overtaking place here. And yeah, you've just got to be brave and willing to send it. Come on then, Lewis Hamilton. We're even closer behind the back of the Mercedes this time round. As there we go. First car into the 17s this GP. So, I mean, look at that. We're able to get round Lewis and get back to the apex in towards turn 1 there. And next up then, Charles Leclerc. Of course, he's one of my championship rivals, but it really does feel like over these last couple of laps we've found something extra in this car. I mean, the rain is the great equaliser, but we have got confidence and apparently an overheating rear left. Both left-hand side tyres just starting to overheat a little bit at the moment, and that's really not good in this Grand Prix. It's not so much about the actual raw pace of the car, but the tyre wear overall is absolutely increasing at more than I'd like to see it doing. As we'll have a look around the outside of Leclerc though in towards turn 1. That is another one of our championship rivals rattled off. But yeah, it just means of course if the AI are also trying to no stop this GP, then well, it just really does put us on the back foot.
Behind by 5/10 a lap.
Zhou Guanyu, that gave me the scare of me life down at turn 1. But the Chinese driver there not able to withstand the pressure of having the championship leader behind him. And every time Zhou Guanyu's in podium contention, something seems to go wrong. We're up into P3 though, and he only lost 3 spots, I believe. There we go, another new fast lap of the day then, as we are closing in on Tsunoda and Alonso. But look at the tyres, really now starting to overheat both of the rears and that front left as well. So things are not looking particularly great for us at this stage of the afternoon. We've still had no real information about when this rain is going to stop. I mean, you look on the circuit right now, we're probably not a million miles away from the dries all afternoon. I certainly do not want to be the one to make that call at the moment. But just trying to close in on Yuki and Fernando. Could we try and go the other way and try and undercut them onto a second set? The only issue I have is I don't know whether the AI will pit. They might just stay out there and then we're going to be even more trouble because I will just cook another set of these inters. Well, I think my plan has just got to be wreck this set of tyres, just keep going on them at the moment and then just see where we're at towards the end of the afternoon. I was not planning on that. I'm sorry, Yuki. We'll give the place up. I was not actually trying to go for that move there. Surprised he did turn in still. I would have thought he would have jumped out of the way of that one, but clearly was already committed. That was more about not trying to run into the back of him and losing my own wing. Right, come on then, I can't keep sitting behind staring at Cash App logos. I mean, look at that though, Yuki that time, first time anybody all afternoon has actually been able to outbrake us in towards turn 1, so goes to show the confidence that the Japanese driver's got again. Now he's got a car underneath him that can deliver, and I really did think this weekend, for the first time all season, we would see Verstappen being ranked as the top Red Bull driver once more. But at the moment, Yuki just looks like he's going to give himself a nice healthy buffer again. I mean, what would you do if this was real life, if you're Yuki Tsunoda? Would you then... I mean, you surely wouldn't want to move to Red Bull next year if you've got a better car right now. It really would be a fantastic dilemma. Oh, there we go. Alonso and Tsunoda are both in then, so I guess we've got no choice but to try and go the other way then with the strategy. We will not get to the end of the race, though, on this set of tyres, so if the track doesn't dry up, we are going to have big problems, as immediately now we've got clear air at the front, I start struggling. Well, there we go, Fernando Alonso, he's about 15 seconds behind me after his pit, so we are going to have to monitor that gap over the next few laps, just see how much time he's taken out of me. I mean, I'm still looking at the track, I don't think we're a million miles away from it being dry enough for like a set of mediums to get to the end.
Well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes.
Well, there we go then. That's what we need to try and do. Get to the end of this wet period and then make the switch, but you can already see Alonso taking a second out of me. We've got yellows as well at the rear of the field. Oh, that's one of the Saubers that's gone round. Not too sure whether that's Bottas or Hauger. Luckily able to keep going anyway, so it won't affect things too badly. That was lucky though, that could have very easily been a roadblock. Well, the tyre wear now creeping up to over 70%. We're struggling not only with the surface, but also the canvas wear as well. So things, I mean, these tyres are just melting underneath us right now. But I guess one of the luxuries of having a 100-point buffer in the championship is that we can take these risks. You know, it's not the end of the world if this goes badly wrong for us today. We would still, you know, even in the worst case, have a 76-point lead over Fernando Alonso. He is running, though, about 2 seconds a lap faster than me right now. So it won't be long before he's caught me up anyway. But I'm hoping that we can pit pretty soon. I will quite happily gamble slightly early to move over to the dries. Well, we're at 2/3 distance then in this Grand Prix. I mean, look at that intermediate on the left-hand side. It's basically turned into a slick tyre now. There is so little tread left on these wheels. 83% on the rear left. So things are really not looking good at the moment on these tyres there. And it's so cool. And that does seem to be more simulated. We've got a puncture! No! No.
Left rear has a puncture.
I didn't expect it to go that fast. I thought we'd have a couple more laps in the car before that went, but apparently not. And suddenly now, the risk has not paid off for us. We've got to try and limp back round to the pit lane here. I mean, we could end up with a safety car or something like that, as we're picking up damage as well by running off the road. So this is just a disaster for us late on in the day. I mean, we just got to try and limp the car back round, but we're picking up more and more damage as well. And this might be game over, and for the second weekend in a row, we might not score any points. I just don't want to take anyone else with me. I think Perez got to get out of his way. Sergio doesn't look like he's going to score points either today, and I have not helped that case, but disaster. We took the gamble. We said we could have tried to, but I didn't think it would go this badly wrong. It's always one of those painful things where you're there going, yeah, we could take the gamble, and then when you actually do it, it doesn't work out. You feel really stupid, but, I mean, we're going to go from leading this Grand Prix to pretty much a lap down, I think, to Fernando Alonso there. I mean, yeah, the car's absolutely screwed, isn't it? Come on. Come on. Try and get going again. Bottas looks like he's picked up a penalty as well from an incident earlier on, but I mean, we can't do anything, can we? Unless we get a safety car or something like that. Even then, I don't think we're going to be able to recover to anything in this GP. Come on, just keep going around. I'm impressed we haven't taken anybody else out, to be honest, because this car is wounded beyond belief. Oh, great. Yeah, there goes the wing. That seems about right. I mean, if we go a lap down here, it's game over. Come on, don't get beached. This is an utter disaster. We've got no... I can't even get the car back around. I cannot even turn the car back around. I think we're going to have to retire from this Grand Prix. We can't do anything. We are going to go a lap down to Fernando. I just don't want to hit him. I just do not want to take any of these guys out. Red flag!
That's a red flag, no overtaking, and let's get back into the pits, please.
I mean, what was I meant to do? We were trying to get out of the way. We could have retired the car beforehand. I don't know whether we'll get the lap back, though. I mean, if we don't get the lap back, it's basically all over, isn't it?
But this is a chance to take a breath. We've got another half of this race to go, and there's still a big opportunity there.
Well, the team still reckon it's going to be intermediate conditions ready for the restart, but surely that rain is going to have expired here. Are we a lap down in this Grand Prix? Let's wait and find out. I don't believe we are. It's 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go then. So have we been given a lifeline in this GP? I think we have been. So suddenly there is still a chance by the end of the afternoon. I mean, look at these track conditions. It's definitely time for dries. We've got that little bit of damage still on the car, but suddenly we have got a way back in. I mean, yeah, I'm staggered they waited that long. It should have been a safety car way earlier when we got that puncture. And obviously we're sliding around up through these few corners. But I mean, yeah, look at the track conditions. it is definitely time for dries, so I'm going to take the gamble, like we did a few rounds ago, if you guys remember in Austria, during the sprint race there. We had a brilliant fun time carving our way back through the order in that Grand Prix, so 6 laps to go. Could it be an inspired call to get ourselves back into the fight here? I mean, definitely track conditions don't feel perfect, but I mean, look at the understeer on those intermediates. It is not worth not pitting. I think for us at this stage, we've got nothing to lose and everything to gain here, but what a crazy turnaround of events here in the Dutch Grand Prix. Will we see any of our front runners into the pit lane? Does anybody else believe it is time just yet? Alonso stays out. I think everybody else willing to stay out there right now, so we are going to make the call. We're going to dive in for a set of the soft compound tyre to see us through these last few laps. Just make sure that we get the car slowed down nice and tidily. If this works, fantastic. If it doesn't, then we'd really have lost nothing anyway towards the end of this GP, because I don't see a way we would have got past 10 or 12 cars to get a point towards the end.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
While bringing the car back out the pit lane, there's still a little bit of standing water on the circuit, but as we try and build up some temperature, I don't think it feels that bad. Well, I'm looking on the Delta. We are quicker than Bottas, but it's not by enough at the moment. I mean, all we can hope for is the AI lose a couple of seconds in one lap and then decide it's worth pitting here. If they don't pit and these track conditions don't change much, it will be completely irrelevant. Ooh, DRS has been enabled. So we are definitely now on the right side towards the end. You wouldn't think it based on how little the gaps come down. But that does mean there's still potential for the AI to pit towards the end. Oh, you've got to be joking. The second year in a row that's happened. And after all of that, it was irrelevant anyway. I cannot believe this game, honestly, man. After everything we've been through today, why did the engine just go bang earlier on? I'm going home. Leave me alone. Stupid, stupid car.
Alonso has done it, and he takes the win!
What a great way to turn the situation around. And you know what they say, it's not about how you fall off the horse, it's about how you get back on it. And today, they've done a great job of turning the page and rectifying their wrongs.
It's time to present the top drivers with their trophies for today's Grand Prix. There are a lot of people in the paddock very happy with this result. It's Aston Martin on the top step.
Well, by just two one-hundredths of a second, Fernando Alonso takes the victory here at the Dutch Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc will have to wait yet another day for his first win of the year, and that's the second time he's been robbed on the run towards the line there. Tsunoda in P3, ahead of Hamilton and Verstappen there. Zhou Guanyu, Lando Norris, Russell, Sainz and Oscar Piastri round out your top 10. And for the first time all season, the streak has been broken, and I'm sure Alonso will want to try and re-establish that streak by winning next time out as well. But I can't believe after all of that, we still ended up with a mechanical failure come the end of the afternoon. Just the last couple of Grand Prix, we have really got to just put behind us and focus on the next one there. We've still got a 77-point buffer over Fernando, but yeah, that's really not what we needed. Tsunoda rejumps Perez and stays ahead of Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. Leclerc, of course, yeah, still building up more of a buffer ahead of Lando Norris behind him. But yeah, no other real movement in the drivers' table there. Constructors-wise, Ferrari re-jump Aston Martin, though, so a good job done by them, as McLaren, Mercedes, and VCarb, they could all be very, very close come the end of the year. And maybe if Red Bull, if Verstappen, sorry, can carry Red Bull, they could try and get in that fight as well. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for persevering through these last couple of disaster episodes in this series. We will be back very, very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the Italian Grand Prix.